is. There's a deal.
You got Xbox or PlayStation? We can set up a match tonight.
I don't have either of those. We got to do in-person golf, and that can be our second date.
All right.
Perfect.
Sounds like
And then you can come in for all the asks you want. I'm pretty easy like that.
Alrighty, hey everybody, we're back for another episode off the Hosel, episode 78. I'm your host, Drew Koser, and I'm joined by the original gang, my co-host and brother, Troy Koser.
Hello!
And the picking machine, Danny H.
Boys, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Busy week ahead of us, fellas. We have actually busy 2 weeks for us. But first, before we get into our long stories of the weekend and whatnot, this is a Nissan-driven podcast located on 1111 Broad Street in Regina, Saskatchewan. A lot of people saw the vehicle this past weekend up in White Bear. I hope they go buy a vehicle from Nissan. Just do it. Oil changes, customer service, vehicles are great. So check them out today. And as always, our great studio, Troy, please rip it off where we're at.
Broadcasting from Divots Indoor Golf, 6823 Rochdale Boulevard in Regina, Saskatchewan. 7 great simulators, great food, great service, great place to be. It's a hot one out there today, peeps. Plus 30 something. A day like today, you kind of wish there was snow on the ground and you were golfing inside.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when they open up, come check them out. Divots Indoor Golf, 6823 Rochdale Boulevard.
Do you always wear sunglasses inside?
Just today.
All right, let's go to Danny H first. What's up, man? What's new? What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Before I talk about myself here for a bit, I got to say we got some merch coming this week, right? New hats. That new, when they had the old classic off the Hosel look, they look sick. Everyone who's listening, expect those to show up this week. We'll get them out there. We'll get them posted on our social medias, the Instagrams and the Twitters. So, yeah, I can't wait for them to come because I need some more hats. I mean, I pretty much hoard every hat I have, but I need more. So,
yeah, and they look sick.
They look good. So
the rope style hats look sick. Troy, what's going on, man? How are things? What's up?
You're bouncing all over the place.
hey, I'm good, by the way.
All right, sorry. Back to you, Danny. What's going on? How are things?
Oh, no. Okay, I'm good. I'm happy to be back.
Well, no, let's talk about the weekend. What did you do? Got banged up?
Drunk. Yeah, I got drunk. Went out to the cabin of my buddies.
Stewart.
Went out to my buddy's cabin, got lit up for 2 straight days.
Thanks for the invite.
You knew about it.
Didn't know.
We started out safe hockey last week, so back into that, and it's good to be back. What else? What else is new? That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's a solid weekend. The
Yeah.
boys, Chirp City, yeah, we're 1-2.
1-2, but
we need more goals.
I need more goals
That's
than other
we'll
teams.
leave it at that.
The old adult, not so safe hockey league.
Yeah, it's a little cleaner now because we're the old team now.
Yeah, a lot of young boys.
We're the old team. We were playing majority of my players last night. So that was fun.
I got a question for both you guys.
What up?
Has the COVID rules?
No, we were masked on the ice.
We were masked on the ice.
On the ice.
Till July 11th.
While you're playing?
Oh yeah.
No.
You can't spit. You can't even breathe.
You're not wearing a mask.
Oh yeah.
On the ice.
Refs wear them. Oh yeah, everyone.
You have a mask under your visor.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Usually it's under my chin, but
I know how much.
Aberman?
I know how much you leak.
Oh.
yeah.
How many masks are you going through?
So I bring a mask to the rink to wear it in, and then I wear a plain mask, and then I wear one home, a clean one.
Yeah.
It's
terrible.
Yeah, hey, we're almost there, guys. July 11th.
Remember Aberman from Mighty Ducks and the foggy glasses?
Yeah.
That's our visors. I'm wearing my visor on top of my eyebrows. Safe.
Oh,
July 11th. That's all.
it's coming. It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought I'd ask, but team's looking good.
You know what? We have a lot of good players. We're not scoring right now. Some of our best players aren't doing anything. Delhi, I told him the bench last night. I said, Delhi, you're a PJHL All-Star when you played, and you've got 0 goals this year. So I told
step
him
up.
to figure it out.
Sucks getting old, Drew.
Yeah, you know what though? I feel good out there. Honestly, my lungs are pretty
It's
solid.
easy to skate every day though.
Yeah, I'm on the ice for twice a day, 9 months of the year. But I mean, still, I'm buzzing.
I know where you guys are coming from because I remember when we got to be the older team, and I remember Cliff Mapes' kid there. Drew, what's his name?
Brett.
What?
Brett, the other one.
Oh, wanted to kill him on the ice. This little 19-year-old
Yeah.
pain in my ass when I was 25.
Well,
and I
yeah.
wanted to kill him. But yeah, it sucks. You guys are starting to be the seniors out there.
I don't mind like some of the younger guys with the visors. It's the young kids with the
Yeah, they
18,
worry
19 girls
me.
with the cages. It's like those guys are kind of irritating because
that
they're
are
out there.
chirping you and sticking you in the
Yeah,
back of the
yeah.
leg, and you're
Sticks
like,
are getting up high.
Well,
and it's just
nice cage, full cage.
And I would wear shoulder pads probably just for the sake of my own health, but they don't fit anymore.
Never, honestly, Drew, in all my
No.
years playing adult safe, and that was a long time I played, not one game did I wear shoulder pads.
yeah, I'm
Really?
not wearing shoulder
Because
pads.
the day I could not wear them, I felt so much more
Oh, yeah.
free.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't
remember,
wear
I
them
remember
now.
when we were in provincials in Saskatoon. Well, you were there coaching,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, wear a suit.
Remember, I got smashed from behind. No, and I was, ouch.
I thought I shattered his
Yeah.
neck.
No shoulder pads. Not that it would have. I probably
Yeah.
would have lessened the
He had a
blow.
neck guard
but
on though. That saved his life.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
But yeah, majority of these teams too, they're all wearing shoulder pads and everything.
Yeah,
so.
and they go hard. So
Yeah.
you know what? Let's get off the adult safe talk because they don't sponsor us. So, Troy, what's new with you? How's the weekend? What's up? What's going on?
Weekend was pretty. I'd say it's quiet, average. We had a nice little outing at Bed Bath and Beyond,
No free ads.
then Home Depot.
No free ads.
I'm kidding. It was a movie reference. Anyways, no, it was a quiet weekend. Just getting geared up to go back to work here. You don't know what movie that was from?
No.
Old School.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, come on.
You my boy Blue.
Yeah, you're my boy, Blue. No, it was a quiet weekend. No golf. I strained a neck muscle last week.
My little baby's graduating high school this year.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got that one. I had to think about it for a second there. That was Owen Wilson's brother.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I strained a muscle in my neck last week. I couldn't look right up or down.
And you were driving. That's safe.
No, I had to take time off work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm actually back to work tomorrow for the first of 5, I think. And Danny knows what work's like. These temperatures, not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Friday is going to feel like the pits of hell.
You're constantly sweating for 12 hours straight.
And
no matter
trying to keep up with water.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
But
welcome-
hey,
welcome
I
my
mean,
life.
first world problems, right?
Yeah.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty quiet weekend all in all. You? What'd you get up to?
I was in White Moose up in Kenosee, White Bear, 2-man event up with my playing partner, Kyle Murglod. Yeah, me and Wiggs played all right day one, and then the last day, I think we were the second lowest score in the round 2. We're in the champ flight. We didn't quite get it done, but we grinded. White Bear, Kenosee, both top-notch golf courses. I don't know if you saw the photo I put up on
Yeah, I did.
White Bear. They blew up, and I was just like, this is a golf course in the province, in Saskatchewan. There wasn't a blade of grass out of place.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yep.
So I've played White Bear numerous times. I've never played Kenosee. Is it the same type of course as White Bear?
More open.
More open?
Yeah, you have more forgiveness to miss spots there, but it's still tough.
Which is the tougher track of the two?
White
in your
Bear.
opinion, White Bear?
Yeah,
'Cause of the
100%.
dog legs, right?
Yeah, I hit driver twice on day 2, and I like hitting driver far and high, and I
Love
didn't
that first hole is at Kenosee when we were on that deck
On the
there.
deck,
where-
yeah.
And that's just gorgeous.
So I teed off on day 1, and like it was
You were at Kenosee, sorry? You said?
yeah, day 1
Okay.
was Kenosee, and there was a bunch of guys from Regina there on the deck, and they're having beers and eating food before they teed off at like 1, and I tee off, and I know they're gonna do something. It was actually Reno.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he was
yeah.
there with his brother and
Jim
other guys,
Bata.
and I hit my drive right at the green. All those like, ah, they're like just clapping. I'm like, thank you, on the green, made birdie. So yeah, it was comical.
So what was the tournament you're in again?
The White Moose 2-man
Now, little controversy. Was there not?
with.
I don't want to get the name wrong. Someone was playing when they shouldn't have been playing because their age eligibility.
Oh yeah.
Was it Colin Coben?
No.
No. Who was it?
No, I didn't want to get into that.
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
I thought I'd ask you. We were just talking here, and I actually came across my Twitter feed, and yeah, they had X's across their scores.
Yeah, it was our buddy, like my buddy Carson, and then Rick. They're both great players.
What's the last name?
Hallberg.
Hallberg, that's
both,
who it was.
They
Thank
both
you.
followed the rules. They did their job. It is what it is. Everything got taken care of. I don't want to talk about it because I don't know
Okay.
enough about it. So,
Fair enough.
Great event though by Ben Brown as always. Put a great event on. I love going up there. Spent time at Wedge's cabin. Saw his family again and his brothers and whatnot and stuff. So it was a good weekend.
It must show you, though, I actually do pay attention outside of recording days, right? I do see what's going on, so.
That's good.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about last week's podcast with Jimmy Scoops Hayes. Boys, I know we had a lot of DMs. Let's break down that pod.
Bear or beer? Bear or beer? No, Jimmy, awesome. That was a really good podcast.
Yeah.
I had a lot of positive feedback on that one. He had some really good stories. And, I mean, who doesn't love a guy that's, A, a Red Sox fan, and B, is from Massachusetts?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Chowed ahead.
Yeah, and the even cooler thing was, we got invited to go watch the Red Sox play at Dugout.
At Fenway.
At Fenway and at the Dugout. Like, I wouldn't know what to
Bucket
do.
list.
I'd just be like, yeah. When's the 7th inning stretch? Just to have those.
Take me
Where the hot
out to
dogs?
the
You beating hot dogs?
Oh, I'd be
ball
D's on hot
game.
dogs.
No, you got it when you're at a ball game.
I've seen some hot dogs, like Dale's things people send in. Those stadium dogs look ginormous.
Well, like I've said, I've been to a few games. A couple years ago, myself, Jill, Scott, and Trista went down to Scotty D, by the way, everyone who's wondering who that is. He's a big listener.
Yeah.
We went down to Dodger Stadium. It's called the Dodger Dog. It was like, and I know how much you like hot dogs. Yeah, you'd crush 2 and be like, I want more. Like they're good. And I mean, you're paying, I don't know, $8.50, $9 American for a Dodger dog, but very,
Well
very
worth
good.
it.
No, I mean, what's better at a ball game than a beer and a hot
Exactly.
dog, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
And
even-
peanuts popcorn. Peanuts and popcorn.
well, it's funny, something down in San Diego, we were at a game, and this is what you hear throughout the whole stadium. I'm going to back up a little because I don't want to yell, but this is what you hear throughout the entire game up until the bottom of the 8th. Chiro! Get your Chiro! Chiro! I looked at Jill, I said, what the hell is a Chiro?
They have
She
them
had
at
to tell-
taco time.
It's like a stuffed cinnamon
Oh, yeah, they're pretty
pastry
good.
thing.
Yeah.
But that's a huge thing at ball games.
Oh, really? I
At
didn't-
Major League Baseball games. Yeah, Cheerios.
Oh.
Cheerios?
Yeah,
Churro?
churros.
Not Cheerios.
Churros.
Churro.
Churro? I don't know. It just sounds funny saying it.
Yep.
Yeah, what's up, Danny?
I was gonna say the Riders schedule. CFL's released.
Yep.
August they start. August 5th? I want to say is the first
6th.
game.
6, yeah.
On
August
the
6th.
on the Friday, I think. Right. So I'm trying to get tickets for that because that'd be a good time.
Good luck because they're going to be about the same price as a game to the Stanley Cup final in
I know.
Montreal.
I know. I'm
Really?
scared.
Anybody that's got season tickets to the
Well,
Rough Riders?
we can figure it out.
Pill Country. That's where I'm
We'll
going.
stop this now. We'll figure it out.
Hey, Pill Country.
True.
Pill
I
Country,
get the hat
yeah.
on too.
Sick hat from Davey. Yeah.
If you get Pill Country, they're cheaper than the rest. Stand around and drink some beers. Do you guys remember last year? Apparently, talking about hot dogs, they had like a 2-foot hot dog or something.
Oh, I've had it.
Have you?
I have a picture on my phone.
He ate it
Is it 2
he ate
feet?
it in one bite.
Is it 2 feet or what? What is
Easy.
it?
It didn't slide down my gullet, Phyllis.
Is it 2 feet or is it?
It's 2 feet. Yeah, Drew just got that one, eh? A little bit over your head, but you caught it. 2 feet loaded, and I mean bacon, cheese,
Oh, really?
fully loaded.
Drew, you should do
My
it.
father-in-law was there with me.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is actually just after all my radiation stuff, and I
Yeah.
started getting taste back. And I remember I got this hot dog, and I mean, people that are gonna watch this, but I had shit everywhere, dripping down my face. I had bacon hanging off my neck, and I was just like, and I think it was like $11.
Oh, really?
Great deal,
Yeah.
deal. But no, I mean, getting a ticket to that game. We haven't had football around here, boys, for better part of 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. Longest standing Grey Cup champions ever, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and probably for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting a ticket, it's going to be the hot commodity in town.
It is, yeah.
I know we're kind of bouncing all over the map, but I don't know if you guys seen the ticket prices in Montreal for game 3 and 4. So as of yesterday, 3,500 fans, which in my opinion is ridiculous.
Now they're
Again,
asking for 10.
I'm not going to get political about it, but when there's 3,500 people in the stands and there's 35,000 people outside the stadium, no masks, rocking police cars, shooting fireworks, having a good old time. Ticket prices this morning, the cheapest ticket you could find was $5,000
Oh, you serious?
for game 3.
That's
So the Montreal Canadiens approached the the Quebec government today and said, "Can we expand to 10,500?" That's their goal for game 4 is 10.5.
and everyone's tickets are going to be worth $5,000 still.
Well,
You'd hope they'd go lower.
it's been 28 years, right? I mean, let me ask you guys,
No.
why?
I'm not
What?
paying $5
No.
grand.
What I was
Oh.
gonna say though, I mean,
I would. Okay, go on. Sorry.
What I want to know is, I know you're a Leafs fan, and I know you're a Red Wings fan,
Hockey fan.
but Red Wings would be your predominant choice, and I'm an Oilers fan. Christian doesn't say much in the back there, so I'm not too sure who his team is. But are you guys cheering for Montreal?
No.
Not at all. And is it because you're solely a Leafs fan?
Yeah, I can't. I can't cheer for them just because of the history of the Leafs, and I only respect one player on that team. That's Carey Price. If they happen to beat Tampa, which I don't think they will, good for Carey Price. I don't care about the rest of the team.
Drew?
Man, I'd love to see the Canadians win. It's Canada right now. It's
Not
how long has it been since the Canadian team's been in the final?
1993. All right, final.
04? Or no, I guess
Vancouver,
Calgary was
Vancouver in 10.
Oh right, yeah, sorry.
So yeah, but Tampa's good.
Tampa's really good. Tampa's really.
Can
really,
we quickly
really
talk
good.
about Shea Weber getting $5,000 fine for that slash?
for the left
but then
tap.
Gallagher gets his head smashed the ice and there's nothing there. That's a little ass backwards.
No.
That's a little ass backwards.
Gallagher
I slashed a lot in
deserved
hockey.
it. He kind of deserved it.
Not to smash someone's head in the ice.
I don't
Well,
think
it
that
means-
was. I don't think there was an intent to do
No,
that.
they kind of just fell. They fell to the
But
ground.
I heard today I think it was Steve Koulis on today on the NHL Center Ice, what it was, and he was saying that's kind of what they thought was going to happen when Panarin and who was that on that threw him down?
Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson. Like that was kind of the same scenario, just
That was worse though, I think. But
like
anyways,
the same idea, right? But I mean, I slashed a lot in hockey, and I've done the same thing that Weber did. Kucherov was fine.
He's
flopping
I think,
already
I
out
think
there.
Kucherov is still ailing from Game 7 last series.
Yeah,
Just
he's
that
been hurt.
dirty rib shot. I guarantee at the end of this, win or lose, Kucherov's gonna come out and say he had 2 broken ribs.
I could
guaranteed.
see
Good cross check though.
Yeah, but you know what? And this isn't the way I played hockey. I don't want to speak for anybody else in the room. Your intent, if you're going to do something like that, to take out one of the best players on the team, get it done or don't do it all. Because you don't think Kucherov's got fire now?
No,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm going to go out. I want to win the MVP of the Stanley Cup
He
final.
is nasty though. He's good.
3
Oh,
points
he's
that
insane.
first game.
Like, did you see that goal he scored last night off
He's
the draw?
so talented.
He's just so patient. Like, a lot of guys would have just one-timed
Yeah.
that, right? He just, I'm going to scooch around. Boom,
Yeah,
pop
he's
cheddar.
so talented.
To bring up your point about the question, if I want the Montreal to
Yeah.
I know a lot of Montreal fans, and I'm sure they would say the same thing. The Leafs are in there. They would not want Toronto to win the cup.
And
So I'm kind,
it's funny you say that, Dan, because, we listen to a lot of sport talk radio, and it's 2 teams are not cheering for Montreal, Toronto and Boston.
yeah,
Those 2 teams are not cheering for Montreal.
so that's
Yeah.
fair.
In all reality, I would have loved, I was hoping and praying that friend of the show, Jordan Eberle, and the New
Oh, I
York
know.
Islanders would have pulled it off the other night.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then it would have been a no doubt about it, I'm cheering for the Islanders.
Yeah, would
right?
have been nice to see that.
And not just because of Ebbs, it's because I don't like the Canadians either. I'm an Oilers fan. But it would just be nice to have some local guys bring the cup home.
Yeah.
Barry Trotz has got ties to Regina Pats, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a kind of a lot of the blue hockey talk.
Well, we're everywhere right now. But
We are everywhere,
But
Drew.
let's jump to some golf talk here quickly. But before we do that, why don't you rip up a quick Molson ad, Troy?
You stole my thunder. This summer, Coors Seltzer is on a mission, helping restore fresh water to Canada's rivers through the Change the Course Foundation. Enjoy the Coors Seltzer Mixer Pack with 4 great flavors, including black cherry, mango, grapefruit, and lemon lime. Drink yourself a Coors Seltzer.
Nice. Okay, so this past weekend, we obviously talked about Kenosha. This is the Scotia Wealth had another event up at the Legends there. Friend of the show, Ty Campbell, wins again. Chubbs, congrats, buddy. I know Tori's working on another power ranking from that event. He's been working some late shifts for now. He's somewhere outside, not where he's from. He's not. Everyone's coughing here. We don't have COVID, so. But yeah, Chubbs won. Congrats to him. I believe he beat Justin Wood. But some of the scores were incredible. So the boys are heating up before the SAS Dam, which happens next week, which we'll all be there at some point in and out of the hotel room kind of thing. So
Speedy Creek.
yeah, Speedy Creek up in Swift next week, July 6th to 9th. I have 2 practice rounds Sunday, Monday, and then it all goes for real on Tuesday. So we'll see.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I didn't play in the Am last year, and I played in 4 prior to that, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it.
What's the low you were talking to me about? If you do good on this tournament, you make the cut for nationals, right? What's the lowest place you can go to make the cut for nationals?
They sent an email out the other day. I was reading it. I think the mid-am is 11 spots, I believe, that goes to Fort Mac.
Okay.
And the men's amateur, they're both combined in the same tournament. Men's am's 4 days, the mid-am's 3. So I think the men's am, I want to say, don't quote me, I want to say 6 spots, maybe 5. But I think with guys playing super well last year, they gained some spots for Saskatchewan. It's really different how Alberta, Ontario, and BC have so much more quota spots because they're big areas.
Right.
And they have a tendency to play a little bit better than the Saskatchewan players have in the past. So they get more spots allocated for them. But,
And
yeah.
you know, this is going to sound corny and whatnot, Dan, but I'm Drew's biggest supporter when it comes to him on the golf course. I always have.
Number
right?
one.
You've been so close.
Yeah,
So close.
I have. I'm Tony Finau this SAS Tour.
I'm hoping.
Let's get over the hump.
I'm hoping
Sure.
this year. I think you got it in you, Drew. I'm rooting for you. I mean, it's.
I hope so.
It's something I know you've wanted to do for a long time, and again, you've been so close. I think this year you might knock a couple birdies and punch your ticket on the way. So.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the first year I'm eligible to play in the mid-am at 25. So whether it's the men's am or the mid-am, I hope I get to go. And, you know, if I have to take I fly to Fort Mac. Do they have an airport there? I don't care. I'm driving 12 hours to Fort Mac if I make that thing. So we're going.
That's where it is? It's in Fort Mac.
That's where the mid-am, and then the men's am is in, I want to say, Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of national golf, I saw something cool on the social media pages the other day. Did you guys see the Off the Hosel sign out in Ontario?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I took the liberty for all of us, and we sponsored a golf tour, the BGA, Beers Golf Association, I believe it is. So they run events. They play 2 rounds on Sundays, every Sunday. And, yeah, it's actually Derek Morley. We met on Xbox.
I thought it was Morley. That's who I thought it was.
Yeah, so we met Derek on Xbox on Zoom through a guy like Rhodesy, and
Trevor,
your buddy, and my buddy too. But anyways, Derek and him are friends from back home. And basically, I think it was whatever it was I paid, and yeah, we sponsored one of the holes, and it's kind of cool. And I guess a lot of Rhodesy's actually out there right now playing, and he said a lot of the boys love the pod, and actually a lot of our viewership is in Ontario, which is good to see.
Well, super fan Jeremy Hanley. Got to throw old hand
J-Han.
dog.
J-Han.
J-Han. Got to throw him a plug. Glad you're listening, pal.
For that tournament next week, can I come with a foam finger with Drew on my shirt or something?
You can, yeah. You could be like that guy from Happy Gilmore. What's that one guy's Doug? No, what's
Happy Gilmore. Oh.
Shooter's buddy. Oh, no.
The guy that's going with Red Lobster.
Shooter!
Hey, shooter! We want a Red Lobster.
My treat.
Volkswagen. That's Danny driving down the Nissan down the 3. Watch out, Danny.
How many players are in that tournament, by the way?
Sask. I want to say 100, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
So cut after the 3 days, 54 holes. I never missed a cut yet, so knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, boys.
We go.
So what, this past weekend, Travelers Championship?
Yeah, the Travelers. I didn't watch a lick of golf. I
did.
watched 12 shots in the cabin on Sunday because I was at the lake. I know there was 6 playoff holes.
I could fill you in. I watched quite a bit. There was 8-hole playoff.
Thank you.
Harris English won on the 8th
Nice.
hole playoff. And I can't say the guy's name, and I don't want to even attempt to mispronounce it. That was not great English. But
That's all right.
yeah, I'm not even going to try and say it. Anyways, yeah, no, he Harris English won on the 8th hole playoff. I got to talk about Abraham Answer again. I'll tell you, if Abe could ever put 4 rounds together, he's going to win tournament. You know, I don't know if you realized, but after Thursday, he was tied for 140th.
Yeah.
Right?
He finished
Odds are
fourth,
of making
right?
the cut at tied 140th after Friday's round. It's not that good.
Did he finish 4th?
He ends up finishing a lone solo 4th.
Wow.
And I don't know if you guys saw his dig, but he had a hole-in-one on Saturday.
Nice.
Had a hole-in-one on, I think it was hole 15 or 16. And he put out on Instagram, he goes, I swear I had a hole-in-one. Of course, unfortunately, there was no video footage of it.
Oh.
So, again, it just comes down to, my opinion, guys that get way too much TV time.
Yeah.
Where Abe has been a top 10 finisher how many times
He's
now?
one of the top players in the world.
Right?
Like
He's-
statistically, one of the top players. in the
He's
world.
on the President's Cup. I believe, don't quote me. We're probably going to have to do a little research on this, but I'm pretty certain he'll be representing Mexico at the Olympics,
I would think so. Yeah.
right? He's going back to the British Open here right away. The guy gets no time. Zero.
Yeah.
and
it's too
maybe
bad.
he pissed somebody off on the PGA Tour. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a guy like, in my opinion, Ricky Fowler. Yeah, he's a fan favorite for the young golfers. Ricky Fowler hasn't done nothing in a long time.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was a good tournament, though. Next week, what do we got this week? This week is, I know we're 2 weeks out of the British Open, July 15, 16, 17, 18, which is usually, that's my favorite golf tournament. I love the British Open because it makes
everyone play hard.
you gotta play. It's the toughest track on the tour. I mean, it doesn't matter where they're playing the British Open, but it makes you play because that score after 4 days of -5, which on most tournaments that's going to put you at T22 or whatever. That's your leading score usually. So yeah, we're a few weeks out from the British Open. I know a lot of players are taking some time off, getting ready. I mean, because you got to remember there's travel time, there's what do they call it, jet lag, right? So yeah. I don't know. What else you got?
What about? Okay, this is for both you guys. If you had the choice of having no alcohol on the golf course
Oh boy.
and shooting your low round ever and doing it once, or getting pissed, like you guys usually do, and shoot under 80.
No alcohol, low round. I'll be the first to say it.
So if I shoot under 80, I can still drink all the time? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't even shoot 80, so I'll take under and drink all the time. Effing raids.
No, I definitely would be the opposite.
All right.
Low round, no alcohol.
Hot dog with condiments or no condiments?
None.
I'll go with condiments.
Okay, after a hockey game, cold Pepsi, cold beer, or a cold water?
Cold beer.
×2.
A cold Pepsi.
It's pretty good.
It's
hey?
good, but you can't compete with cold beer after a game.
Okay, last one of my other question here. Pre-game meal before you play a big round that day. Like you're planning to play good golf that day.
Well, that's a tough one because I usually tee off at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not going out for a big, pan scrambler or a big breakfast. If I got a
Let's say 1 o'clock tea time.
if I got a nice 4 o'clock tea time, 5 o'clock tea time,
That's not nice. No, what 1 o'clock tea time, midday time, not
midday,
the twilight.
what am I having? What's a pregame? Danny, go ahead. I got to think through this one through here.
Well, the old classic cold cut from Subway. If it's a midday, that's not bad. To keep it light.
Yeah, too light. I like it.
Probably,
So you're not going to make anything because you're just. I mean, you might, but
honestly, like this might sound horrible, but I don't know. Grab a couple pops at the clubhouse and a hot dog or two, or a
It's a
sausage.
bowl of chili.
I don't know. You? What's your choice? What do you do?
It depends what kind of event I'm playing. If I'm playing a serious event, it's like a good breakfast, like a bagel and like a black coffee.
Now, why?
Keep it light. Fill the bag with Cliff Bars. Just have like 4 of those in the bag. Rotate through every 3 holes. Have a few.
Because I know hockey's a different animal than golf, and I mean, before hockey games, you'd have your pregame meal with chicken and pasta and whatnot, right? You don't go and eat
No.
chicken and pasta before on a golf.
no.
No, more times than not, I'm eating like pizza that night, and then waking up in the morning and be like, "Fuck, I feel like shit."
And that's kind of how I am too. I'm not a big breakfast guy.
No.
Drives Jill nuts. Like,
yeah.
She loves pancakes. Or
Like if I'm
waffles.
playing a tournament, I will have like a bag roll and like something like nutritionist for breakfast. But if I'm like going to work, I'm like black coffee, off to work.
When did you get so old? Black coffee. I don't even drink black coffee.
I just drink black coffee.
I'm making the switch too, actually.
It's good.
Yeah. With the I used to do double guy, but I kind of got to grow up now, and I'm just going a little bit of sugar with black coffee, and I like that even. But what do you double guy or what?
I'm a 1-1.
Oh, that's
Here's my
it's
last
not
one.
bad.
I can do coffee without sugar. I don't mind if it's just cream.
Okay.
It's just black. Bleh.
Okay,
Bleh.
last one here, and then we'll wrap it up and go to our guest. What is, or why do Canadians say tournament, and Americans say tournament?
Accent.
How should it be said though?
Tournament.
Tournament. I didn't even know that was a
Tournament.
thing.
Why is it tournament? It's a tournament.
Because we don't have the accents.
It's a tournament.
You sound like Jimmy Hayes over there. Tournament. Beer, bar,
Tournament.
beer, bar. It's tournament.
I get that question all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Never heard of that.
Because like I want to say people say it's like torna, like it's a tour, like a tournament. It's a tour, tournament, instead of a tournament.
See, okay, here, I'm going to give you the scientific explanation to this now that I hear you say this over and over for the last 10 seconds. Tournament. See, I can't even say it how you're saying it. You have a tour.
Yeah.
That
Tournament.
means something. So tour meant, right? Canadians here. This is scientific facts. Tournament. The proper way that it is said is you're going to play 9 holes of golf and you're going to turn the corner, right? And everything, it means something to you. So after you turn the corner on 9, that tournament lets you finish the last 9, and you hope to win that tournament.
All right. Moving on to our. That's good. I like that. Tournament. Okay, so
we just lost some listeners because of that.
Before we go into our guest, first off, how about our closeout from Cutter and Buck? Thoughts, boys?
Unreal.
I mean, I'm looking at the camera because we do have a YouTube channel. Softest golf shirt I've ever worn. I swear to God. This thing, comfy. And I mean, I sweat, not like so much like somebody else to the left of me, right of you, but there's no stain residual. It's very comfortable. It's very light. I mean, beautiful colors on you. You got the nice stripes. Danny's got the nice.
I can't lift my arms right now because I'm pretty hot from the lights on me.
Cutter and Buck, they make a hell of a clothing.
Yeah,
it's so comfy.
I know I got a jacket from them too, but on a day like today when it's plus 32 out, I'm not going to wear it. You will see me wearing it at some point in time.
For 7 months of the year, yeah.
8, you know what I mean? Oh, it's a spring, fall. It's not a winter, but it's spring, fall.
Troy, you got birdies on your?
Yeah, they're birdies.
Those are boaties.
Has it helped you out yet or no?
Birdies.
Have you worn it? Golf?
Birdies.
I look good out there.
That's all it counts. That's all it counts.
And your quick thoughts on Cutter and Buck?
Well, exactly like Troy said, the comfiest shirt I've worn for golf clothing or polo type shirts. So I hope we get some more. And
yeah, and we're to look sick in the pill zone with those hats. There's not many people have those. They're limited edition hats, the pill.
And the tailor-made ones, I know I'm still waiting for a couple, but
yeah, they'll be here soon.
Little jelly, Drew.
Let's go into our guest today. Not different at all. He plays a lot of golf. He's played a lot of good golf courses, better than the ones that we have. But he's a stop-motion animator creator.
Former rapper
that didn't turn out the way he wanted to. But this thing that he's doing now is taking off. So taking off. So okay. So our guest today, Jared Jacobs.
Double J.
Goldie Yella on Instagram and Twitter. Boys, let's quickly here before going to the interview here. Quick thoughts on Jared.
Amazing what Lego can do for someone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil. They got to listen to the podcast. It's just amazing what happens. He had a dream to be a rapper. That faltered. Got into Lego. Check out the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen up. He's very creative, so listen up.
Yeah, there it is. Jared Jacobs. Hope you guys enjoy it. Alrighty, we are pleased to be joined by a guy that is from Calgary, Alberta. He is full of energy and loves golf. He's a stop-motion animator. This guy makes playing with Lego super incredible and fun. We are pleased to have on today Jared Jacobs. Jared, man, we appreciate you coming on today.
Anytime. You guys can have me on anytime.
Well, we'd love to. Well, I mean, actually, let's get through this first, and then we'll see where we're at, Jared, all right?
Sure. Yeah. Let's not get. I mean, that did come on a little strong. You can't have me on anytime yet.
Yeah, that was.
I don't want to sound desperate.
Alrighty, I know we all have some questions here for you. I know Troy does, Dan does, but first we want to backtrack this a bit as we always do. Walk us through growing up in Calgary, Alberta. A city I'm quite fond of, but walk us through it and what was a young Jared Jacobs doing?
Getting into a lot of trouble. Actually, I didn't get into too much trouble. I was a pretty good kid. But yeah, I grew up in Northwest Calgary, like varsity area, kind of if you're familiar with Calgary, like Silver Springs golf course is like walking distance from my house.
Yeah.
So we were pretty close to that, but I didn't play a lot of golf growing up. I just kind of played hockey, played a little basketball, rugby in high school. And then I don't know, I was just kind of everybody's friend and the kid who was attention ADD and just like had to be the center of attention if I could. And then sometimes I didn't want to be the center of attention. And so, you know, my generation was kind of like, it was frowned upon if you were always like, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
But now that's kind of the world that we live in. Like you have to be like self-promoting all the time. So I get a little sick of that. But I think that's just the way that I grew up. I'm not that younger generation, but I'm trying to fit in with these young bucks.
I got a question, Drew.
Yeah, go for
Jared,
it.
no, but I want you to ask the next one, and then I'm going to jump on top of that one.
All right.
So fire away.
Oh, you want me to go over my next question?
Yeah.
Okay. Just talk about your background. I mean, were you a sports guy growing up right away, or I mean, obviously, you do play with Lego now, which is totally awesome. But what were you doing as a young Jared?
Well, I was not playing with Lego as a young Jared. I actually didn't own much Lego growing up, but I played hockey from when I was like started when I was like 4 or 5, I think, and then just kind of played until I started playing goalie. And then my parents are like, hey, we don't really want to spend this much money on hockey, so how about you play basketball? And so I was like, well, can't I just do both? And they're like, no, you're just gonna play basketball. And so I stopped playing hockey for probably like 6 or 7 years. I mean, we would always play street hockey. But I grew up in just like a great part of Calgary. Like Northwest Calgary is just awesome. And like I was just super blessed to be there. But yeah, we just kind of, I don't know, just like any typical Canadian, you play a lot of hockey, get in a lot of fights. But then you go out and hang out with your buddies after you get in fights with them. Usually any fights that I would get in would be with like my good friends. So we would just, I don't know why Canadians are so violent, but we just are.
It's so damn hot and cold in this country.
That's true. We've got a lot to complain about. So so now I live in the States. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and it's pretty hot here too.
Isn't that where Graham is?
Yep. Yeah.
You ever run into one of our friends of the show, Graham Dillette?
No, I've never. So funny story about Graham. He's actually kind of what got me into the sports side of the Lego stuff. So
Really?
I followed him in 2014 at Pinehurst at the U.S. Open. We were following DJ because my buddy had friends who went to like college with him. And then I was just kind of there by myself in Pinehurst, not knowing anybody. And so I just looked at like the card that tells you who's playing. And I was like, Graham Dillette from Boise, Idaho. I was like, who's this guy? I didn't know much about golf. And so I was like, I'm going to go follow this guy. And then so his wife was following him. And then this other guy named Jason was also following him. And he was from Boise. And so I just kind of, talked to them while we were following Graham, but he didn't make the cut that year. But yeah, for the first 2 days, that's how I followed Graham. And then so when I got into the sports side of this, the first sports Lego video I made was Graham and Jules just like golfing together. I just like kind of put something together. I was like, it'd be kind of cool to do sports stuff. And then I tweeted it at him. He was the only reason why I got on Twitter. So that, because I knew he was big on Twitter. And so I tweeted it at him and Jules, and then Jules retweeted it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then Graham retweeted it when I was out golfing. And I was like, holy cow, I've never seen this amount of notifications before. And so I talked to him a little bit in the DMs. And then I was kind of just like, I didn't really want to fangirl over another golfer because I didn't really care that much. And I'm sure he was just kind of like, it was like the height of Graham Dillette too, like the bearded Canadian. And so, but I guess he lives in Boise now. But I haven't talked to him. I probably should go hang out with him at some point. The Dallas Stars came to training camp here. And so we were in the same building at one point, but we just never met up. Maybe he doesn't want to meet me. I don't know. Maybe he's like, who's this loser that plays with Lego for a living? But if you guys are buddies with him, maybe you're cool by association. You guys are Saskatchewan boys. Where's he from? Weyburn?
Weyburn, yeah.
He is. Is that like a tiny town?
It's an hour south of here.
Oh, okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Population's very, what is it, Drew? Couple thousand? Ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Google it.
We're not very good at stats in this podcast. We get carved day in, day out. So we'll leave it at that. We know it's an hour away, though, from Regina. So
yeah.
So how do you guys know him then? Just through golf?
Yeah, we had him on the podcast. I mean, we're not like best
Oh, you
buddies
did?
by any means, but yeah, we just I play on the golf SAS tour here, and then he played on that, so it kind of just followed him. He was my idol growing up, I guess you'd say. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Well, then you need to come down to Boise and then we can go play golf together. Does he still golf?
yes,
He's actually rehabbing another back injury right now.
That's
So,
brutal.
He's hoping to. He actually was on one of the local radio stations here last week. It sounds like he's trying to be back at some point this year. So, but
yeah.
he's
Well, maybe I'll hit him up. I just don't, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like, hey, buddy, remember me that made the Lego video of you that you retweeted? We should go. We should go hang out sometime and stuff. You know.
When you DM him, Jared, ask him if he's got any the Prairie Bard. That'll get you in the.
Oh yeah, I got one of those hats from the golf course. I wear it a lot. Jules's wife will always comment whenever I'm wearing that hat. She's like, nice hat, you know, because all those guys started following me. Like, it's weird who follows me now on social. Like, it just kind of,
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Graham was the guy who kind of got it all rolling just by retweeting something that I did. So then the next week I was like, I'm onto something here with the sports stuff. Next week I did Tiger Woods at the Masters on the 16th hole. And that just went like crazy viral and like changed my life. Like after that, like life was just different.
So Jared, this goes right into my next question here, and we're all curious of it. You know, when did you start doing this? You know, and obviously I was doing some homework on it, and you started doing some scenes from Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Walk us through, you know, when you bored one night and you're like watching the TV show, and then you started doing sport ones. But like, this is pretty cool, man. We saw the one today on the NHL Network there. Yeah, walk us through, you know, this whole longevity of it.
Yeah, so it started kind of like, I like the stop motion side of things. I kind of like that, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer show growing up, and I didn't really understand what stop motion was, but I was always kind of fascinated by it. So I started kind of playing around with it. I had a nephew that had some Lego. I think one of the first ones I did was at my mother-in-law's house around American Thanksgiving. Just kind of holed up in the basement and was like playing around with my nephew's Lego. And I was like, maybe I'm going to try making some stop motion videos. And I think one of the first ones that I put out on my Instagram, I probably had like a few hundred followers at the time on Instagram. I think I just tagged Breaking Bad in it, or somehow a couple of the actors from the show found it and they were like, hey, you have to keep doing this. This is amazing. And I was like, wait, these are the actual actors from the show. So then I started getting a little bit of a following just from Breaking Bad fans. But then when that show ended, I probably did that for like a couple of years. Just kind of whenever I felt like it, I would recreate a scene from Breaking Bad, and they would always share it, and it was always super cool. Aaron Paul actually is from Boise, Idaho, so I met him one time, which was cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was kind of surreal though. Like just the fact that I was like, I'm like a nobody, and these videos were not even good. Like they were awful. Like my 10-year-old, my 9-year-old son could put together a better stop motion video than what I first did. Just because kids nowadays are so intuitive when it comes to that type of stuff. Yeah. But I'm like bleeding from the eyeballs trying to figure out how to get this to work. And then from there, honestly, like once that show was over, that was when I switched to the sports stuff. And I went to like this store called Bricks and Minifigs and actually borrowed Lego from them. I couldn't even afford Lego at the time. I was just like, hey, it was kind of like a Play It Again Sports of Lego.
Yeah.
I'd like buy like used and new Lego. And so I was like, hey, could I like borrow a bunch of stuff? And then I made the Graham video with that. And then for the Tiger Woods one, I needed to borrow even more stuff. And they were cool. They're just like, yeah, sure, you can borrow it. Like, who even asks that? Like, you go into like a retail store and you're like, hey, can I borrow some of your stuff and I'll bring it right back? So it was just kind of gritty on how it all got started. And then now I have like budgets where they're like, yeah, we'll give you X amount of dollars for like your Lego budget. And I'm like, that's crazy that you guys are going to pay me money. And on top of that, you're going to pay me money to buy more Lego. And now, like, if we were in my Lego studio, you could kind of see that it's just everywhere now. Like it just takes over. It's consuming to the point where I'm like, I have too much of this. Like I need to scale down a little bit. But then I get big projects like the NHL just recently. That was pretty cool because I had worked with NHL Network before, but I'd never worked with the NHL itself. And so like, you know, you're a kid growing up and you're like, you want to play in the NHL someday, but you don't know that you're going to play with Lego in the NHL someday. So I guess dreams kind of come true in a way, like in a roundabout way. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like to think about all the stuff that I've been able to do just from playing with Lego, and the people that I know now and like people that I call friends. I'm like, this is crazy. This never would have happened otherwise.
So before we get back into some more Lego talk, I did some research on Google. I don't know if you're scared where this next question's coming here, but I'm assuming with your handle of Gold Yeller, you were an aspiring rapper.
That's
Correct?
right.
Oh, that was my question. Yeah.
Walk us down the road of your rap career and how you got into it and why it didn't pan out and you end up playing with Lego.
Well, usually light-skinned Canadians like myself that are in there. I guess that started like in my early 30s. I always liked rap growing up as a kid. And so it was on Facebook it started, where I just started like writing rhymes and then putting them on my Facebook account. And then people started like rapping in the comments, like kind of like battle rap. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. And then from there, it kind of evolved to, I would make a rap video every week. We called it Freestyle Friday, and that's how I got into the YouTube side of things and like the content side. And I did that for like 2 or 3 years, where every week I would do a rap, and then everybody that would rap in the comments, I would like select the winner of who like won that battle that year or that day. And so I made this video. I was like, I want to like, this is like early YouTube. And I'm like, dude, I think I could make something out of this. Like maybe I could get into the rap game. And so I paid this guy to like produce a music, like the music side of it, like a beat. And then we recorded it in like his closet, and it was garbage.
Laboratory.
It was so bad. It sounded terrible. And then like, he didn't really know what he was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, let's figure this out. And then I met a guy at VidCon one year who was like a legit, like produced like the music for like Devin Supertramp videos, who was like a big YouTuber. And I kind of became buddies with him. And I was like, dude, can you listen to this? This is garbage. He's like, just come to my studio. We'll just like record it. His name's Brendan, by the way. So we just re-recorded it. He redid the beat, and it was awesome. It's a video called Farm Boy Flow. I don't know if you've already seen it through your Google research, but it's
Nope.
we put it up on YouTube, and it got like 2,000 views or something. And I was like, maybe. And so he didn't charge me to produce that either. But then I was like, dude, I got to pay you for this. Like, what do I owe you? And he's like, yeah, I don't think you can afford what I charge. And I'm like, well, give me a number. And he's like, I probably would have charged you like $5 to $10 grand to produce that. And I was like,
Holy.
yeah, you're right. I don't have that kind of cash at the moment.
That's when you asked him to borrow it. Hey, can I just borrow this?
Can we put this on layaway or something? I could pay you in Lego somehow. But this was before Lego. But yeah, that's kind of how I got the name Gold Yeller. It took me a while to come up with that name. And I was kind of older. And so like Old Yeller was like one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. And then gold is kind of synonymous with rap. And so then it just became Gold Yeller. But then when the rap stuff didn't pan out and like this stop motion stuff blew up for me, I already had all these Gold Yeller handles everywhere. And so that's just kind of what I've become known as now, is Gold Yeller. But most people will associate it with the Lego side of things. Most people don't do their research like you and find out that it was actually a failed rap career that got me the name Gold Yeller.
Actually, I found it on Napster this afternoon too. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, had a good listen. It was awesome. So. So I kind of want to ask another question. When the rap career didn't go the way you wanted to go, what made you get into like the stop motion?
So I started doing a lot of video stuff because of the rap stuff. I kind of had a knack for doing video things. And so I got a job at like a lumber supply company here in Boise, and they let me produce all these videos for them. And so I kind of became pretty good at it, like doing stuff on Premiere Pro. And then I just kind of kept going with it. I really liked it. I didn't go to film school or anything. I just kind of, I only went to college to kind of appease my parents, and I wasn't really a good student. In fact, I was a terrible student. Like I don't know how I didn't get kicked out of college. But I kind of wish that I would have dropped out of college, because college hasn't really done anything for me. It was basically like a 4-year vacation where I didn't even go to school most of the time. Kind of like high school. High school was the same way. My wife is always like, "How did you make it through high school if you never went to class?" She's like, "We had like attendance and stuff." I was like, "Well, I'd stay for attendance and then I'd just leave."
Sounds like me. So you're kind of like
So,
the
yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg of the stop motion world, right?
I don't want to be
like
Mark. I'll never censor anybody. Okay. We'll just say that. I don't want to be known as the Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, Jared, I want to know quickly, and I think we all do, how long does it take to make one of those videos that you made? Because I watched a few last night. I was late at bed. I was talking to Danny H, and we were texting him like, these things are incredible. Like you're all day, you're piecing things together, and the cool part was you had all the audio too with it, which is super awesome. Like just walk us through like a day in the life of building one of those sets.
So the Jordan Spieth one that I did probably took over 100 hours with building and then filming.
Holy.
So like for a 30-second video, they typically take about 60 to 70 hours for like one video, just because I've gotten really good at it and like the production level has gone way up. But the first Tiger Woods video that I did took maybe like 4 hours, and I just filmed it on my phone. And that is probably still one of the most viral videos that I've ever put out to date.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that good, but it was everywhere. Like I remember Kyle Porter from like CBS Sports was sharing it, and he's like giving me ideas of other things that I could do next. And so I kept kind of making them, and I would just try and get them out as fast as I could. But then like, Big Ten networks reaching out, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do one every week for us." And I was doing this on the side still, because I wasn't making very much money doing them. I didn't even know that I could make money doing them until like Bleacher Report and places and Pinehurst Resort like reach out, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do this." With Pinehurst, I just did trade. I was like, I've always wanted to play at Pinehurst, but I never thought I'd be fancy enough to play there. So I'm like, if you can hook up a few rounds for me and my cousin, like I'll do that Payne Stewart one for you. And they're like, done. And I've done stuff with them since then too. We did like a John Daly one. So I've been golfing at Pinehurst now a few times, like probably 4 or 5 of their courses. I've played number 2 twice. And I'm just like, I have no business playing that. Like, I'm not that good at golf. I'm probably like a 14 handicap now. So I'm just not very good, but I never took lessons. Like I just love playing golf. And then after the pandemic, like I started playing golf all the time.
Yeah.
Where I'd play 4 or 5 times a week because there's nothing else to do. So, and now I just love it. Like now it's like, it's probably the thing that I'm most passionate about is playing golf.
Well, we're going to get into some more golf chat here. We just have a few more questions regarding what you do for daily living. Like what are some of the, and maybe you can't tell us, but what are some of the big projects you got coming up here in the near future?
Yeah. So I probably can't. I probably shouldn't say, because my only problem with that is I've said a few things that don't pan out, and even just like leaving little breadcrumbs, and then it just like once COVID hit, like stuff just went into the tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I did the music stuff. I did a music video that still hasn't been released. I don't know when it ever will be, but it was for a pretty big artist. And so like hopefully that gets released. They've paid me like half the money so far. So
hey, can I ask a great question, Jared?
Yeah.
You know that movie, was it called Pixel? Like, were you involved in that at all? Like they have Lego movie, right?
I haven't seen that movie.
Right? Is the movie with Lego guys, right? Yeah, like the Batman movie, like the Pixel, whatever it is. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but like basically they're a bunch of Legos, and it's like Lego World.
Like the Lego movie?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't involved with that.
No.
A lot of that's actually CGI. Like my stuff is like by hand.
Oh,
so
okay.
they do like a tiny bit of that stuff by hand, but if they did those movies all by hand, they would take years and years to make. Like they'd probably take like 10 years to make, because it's just it's so labor intensive. If it takes me 100 hours just to build one set for a 30-second video, you can imagine how many animators you'd have to get, and they'd have to be the same consistency of animators, like same frame rate, So it would take forever. So a lot of that stuff's done in CGI.
So this might be a weird question too, but doing what you do, is Tim Burton one of your idols?
I do like Tim Burton. I love the stop motion side of things. Like it always fascinated me. But I didn't know that you could actually do it. And now with technology, like it's easier to do. Like the fact that I made the first ones on my phone is just nuts to me. I didn't even have an app. I think I was making them on Vine. So it wasn't even really a stop motion video. But then I got an app on my phone that I made them with. And now I teach like a course for like kids that want to learn how to do it, where they can like learn the stop motion just by like an app on their phone. And some of the videos that kids will send me are like really, really good videos. And I'm like, man, these kids are going to be better than me here pretty soon. They're going to take my job.
You know, like I'm a bit older than everybody in the room here, but it's kind of cool seeing what you do. I mean, like this morning, I'm a huge Oilers fan, right? So I saw McDavid on there. I was like, oh, that's so awesome, you know? And I'm like, and you had it so detailed so well. It's just, I don't think it's as big as a YouTube star, you know, doing cooking shows. You know what I mean? Like the stop motion stuff. So is there are you being asked to teach it a lot?
Yeah. Yes and no. Like usually I just don't have time. The stuff that I did teaching with was actually another animator friend of mine, named Trisha Zemp. And she was just like, hey, she had done a couple courses online, and she had given one away for free during COVID. And just like, there was like 70,000 families that signed up for her stop motion class. And so she did like a poll and was like, hey, what do you guys want to learn next? Cause she doesn't do Lego stop motion. She just does like paper stop motion. And so they were like, we want to learn Lego stop motion. So she reached out to me through like a mutual, it was actually through Brendan, by the way, the guy that produced Farm Boy Flow for me. He was like our mutual friend. And then I think I was on like an Instagram live with Brendan, and she's like, hey, Jared, would you want to like teach a Lego stop motion course with me? And I was like, sure, Trish, whatever. Like she was just cool by association. And so we did that. I went down to her studio in Utah and we filmed for like 3 days and put out the only one that I've ever done online. But I would have never done that by myself because I'm so like, can't focus on anything. But then when I do the stop motion stuff, it's like hyper focus. So it's kind of weird. Like I'll see like a squirrel and I'm like, oh, there's a squirrel, you know? But then when I have to like buckle down and hyper focus, it's almost like this ADD thing is like a superpower. So it's kind of a catch-22 where you're like, it's good for me, but like it's hard to function in just daily life.
Yeah.
Well, and you had brought up the Rudolph movie. Was that movie made by stop motion too? That old one? Okay.
Yeah, that's all. That movie must have taken forever to make.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you took 100 hours to do your first one, like imagine doing a full movie.
Right, and they have puppets and everything like that. Like just the logistics involved with that, I'm sure were just mind blowing. But that was probably a super time consuming movie. But I mean, I appreciate it even now. You know, like 30 years later, 40 years later. I think it was actually in like the 60s or 70s they made that.
Yeah.
So it's been around forever. But yeah, I can't imagine what they were working with, especially if they're doing it on like film and like cutting film. And I can't even imagine.
So Jared, favorite stop motion video to date? Like I said, last night I was scrolling it crazy. I know I have a couple of your ones on there that I liked last night, but what are some of your favorite ones to date?
I would say probably one of the Tiger Woods videos, either the Club Twirl one or the hole in one at the Waste Management. I really like the Jordan's, a lot of the golf ones actually. I really like the Jordan Spieth one with how that turned out. And they actually showed it to, we had talked about maybe doing something where I was like, people tell me I look like Happy Gilmore's homeless caddy.
Yeah.
And so like, I was going to dress up as a caddy and like be Jordan's like Lego caddy and like teach him and Michael Greller like how to make stop motion of themselves and like film some content around it. So I was pretty excited about that. But the that kind of got a kibosh put on it when COVID hit and you couldn't be around anybody. So, I mean, maybe someday I'll do something like that. Like it'd be cool to do something with like Tiger Woods or like Phil Mickelson, where you're just like recreating a scene with them, but you're like helping them do it. It would just be amazing. That's something that I mean, that's kind of one of the next things that I want to do is just actually have the person who's the subject be helping me animate themselves. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, should we get into some golf talk?
Yeah, let's do some golf talk here. I know, well, you already mentioned you're a 14 handicap, but you're also a big golfer. I've seen tons of videos of you and photos of you. You played some sick courses, as you mentioned, but first, how is the game these days? You mentioned you're 14, but how much are you playing during the weeks? Are you playing lots? Yeah, walk us through your golf game, Jared.
Okay, I may not be a 14 handicap. Like I might be better than that, but I just tell people that I kind of sandbag a little bit.
Yeah, it's a shit.
Because I don't have an established handicap, and I don't really care. Like half the time I don't even keep score. Like I just kind of go out to have fun, and I don't play in like tournaments where we have to have like established handicaps. I don't play in men's league anymore, and so I'm just kind of like, who cares? I'm not playing anybody for money, so nobody cares when I beat them. When they're hearing that I'm a 14 handicap, I'm probably like, I don't know, 10 or 11 at this point because I play a lot. But then it depends on the course too. Like if I'm playing my home course, I'm pretty decent. But if I'm playing like the Trump Bedminster course, I'm like, this is where they were going to play like the PGA Championship, and I'm garbage at this course. You know, I'm probably shooting like in the high 90s. Like Pinehurst, I shot over 100, and I'm like, I don't remember the last time I shot over 100. But number 2 is just brutal. So it just gives you a respect for like the guys who are on tour and like actually golfing for a living. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, because I'm like, I just played in this Chippo tournament where it's like this little backyard type of golf game, and it's like a cornhole for golf, and it was like Labatt Seltzer was like sponsoring it, and so
No free ads, Jared.
Yeah, no free ads.
Yeah, thank you.
Cut that part out. It was sponsored by Off the Hosel.
Yeah, there
Off the Hosel was sponsoring it. And it was just fun. Like, I'm like, how can I do this for a living? How do I play golf for a living? That's kind of my next goal, is to figure out how I can be, whether it's in like the media space or whatever it is. I want to figure out how I can just be on the golf course all the time.
Yeah.
Playing or just being around the game just because I love it so much. And I'm probably going to play it, into my, as long as I live. I'll probably into my 90s if I get that old.
Maybe we're speaking to the next Tim Tebow here. He went from football to baseball, and now he wants to be a professional golfer. So,
see, I don't want to be a professional golfer. That's too much pressure. I maybe a caddy for somebody would be fun. If I already look like the homeless caddy, so maybe just go wash some windows. The Corn Ferry Tour is coming to Boise, so maybe I just go like wash a couple windows when the players are rolling up, and maybe somebody will put me on their bag. Be a little looper for a while. That could be kind of pretty fun.
You got any hole-in-ones, Jared?
No, I've come close.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I got, like, here in Boise in the winter, they'll have 3 holes cut, and then they'll cover 2 of them and then put the pin in the other one. So I was filming myself, and I hit a shot on a par 3, and it bounced on something on the green, and I was like, what did that just bounce off of? And it was actually the hole that was covered. And so it's like a fake hole-in-one. That's like the closest I've ever come, was actually like, it would have dunked it. But then there probably would have been like a pool noodle in it anyways because of COVID. So it wouldn't have counted. It would have counted, but not counted. But that's the closest I've come. There's been a few times where I've just been like inches away, and I'm like, come on. I feel like I'm due for a hole-in-one, but I haven't had one yet.
Sounds like the brother over here. He's due for one.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all close, Jared, with hole-in-ones. So
none of you guys have had one?
No. Mini golf.
Yeah, I've had a few mini golf.
I was with the guy a couple of weeks ago, par 3, 186, and I know it went in the hole. It wasn't me, it was my buddy. It went in the hole, but you just referenced the pool noodle, and it.
Oh yeah, so it popped out.
Yeah, it popped out.
Nice birdie.
And I'm just like, oh, Yeah, exactly, nice birdie.
So I witnessed one. I was golfing with my buddy. It was probably like 125 out, par 3, and he just like, we couldn't see it go in, but I was more excited. It was like his third hole in one, and I was more excited that he got a hole in one than he was. He was just kind of like, I don't know if he was just playing it cool, but I'm like, dude, I feel like you need to be more excited about this. Like, I'm like shaking from adrenaline after he gets a hole in one, and it wasn't even me that got it. So I can't even imagine. I'll probably like jump in a pond when I get a hole in one because I know it's coming. If I'm near a pond, I'm jumping in fully clothed. I don't even care. I don't care how fancy the course is. I'm going to jump in. I think that's how I'm going to celebrate.
Should we go to our questions?
And then go do a snow angel in the sand trap.
Oh, you'll be all messy and gross after that.
Yeah, and then nobody's gonna want me to buy him drinks afterwards because I'll be a homeless mess.
That's probably
I'll like legit have to take a bath in the pond afterwards.
It's probably why
shampoo.
Probably why your buddy wasn't too excited about hitting another hole in one. He's going, damn, credit card's gonna get racked up again.
Yeah.
All
Probably.
right, Jared. Let's go into our questions from the gallery, our segment here, sponsored by Molson Coors. Molson Canadian is introducing the Stanley Cup batch for a limited time in 6-pack bottles. Each batch is passed through the Stanley Cup bowl, bringing you closer to your hockey dream. And, let's go Habs. All right, Jared, first one here. You mentioned you don't keep score very often, but what is your lowest round that you know of?
78 is the lowest round I've ever shot. I finally broke 80, and I actually like live streamed the 18th hole, and I had to get, if I would have got a triple bogey, I wouldn't have broke 80. But I was like, if I get double bogey or better, I'm breaking 80 here. So I was like, I just started live streaming it, which put more pressure on me. So it was a stupid thing to do. But I went like driver off the deck. It was a par 5. And then like just a little chip shot in. And then I 2-putt for a par, and I'm done. I was like, I could not believe that I just broke 80. And so now my next goal is to break like 75.
Awesome.
That's a good goal to have because, I'm still working on that. But what was I going to ask you? Ultimate golf foursome. Who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. You got to throw Tiger Woods in there. Probably Tiger. Bill Murray, I think, would be a fun one. Maybe Happy Gilmore's caddy. And me, the homeless caddy, not the Will Zalatoris one.
Danny, anything? No one? All right. Are you actually a Hartford Whalers fan?
I mean, it's the best. I'm actually an Edmonton Oilers fan, but Hartford Whalers is the best logo ever
You're
made.
An Oilers fan from Calgary?
Yeah, I know. I was the black sheep of the family. We even had like partial season tickets to the Flames. And don't tell Graham this if you talk to him, but I was an Oilers fan. I like winners. I was the black sheep, and I was like, everybody's cheering for the Flames. I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. So I hated the Flames growing up, but now I like any Canadian team. Like I'm cheering for the Habs right now. We went up to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals in Calgary, me and my buddy, like the first year I lived down here, and somehow like finagled our way into the Saddle Dome, and we're like sitting in like Brett the Hitman's Hearts section, and like Goldberg's there. And it was just, and there was a bunch of guys from Winnipeg actually that had just drove in from Winnipeg. And we were like in the standing room only, like the handicap section. And it was like the time of my life. I'll never forget the national anthem when everybody was singing "Oh Canada." Like it still gives me goosebumps just thinking about that. That was like my favorite part, but it was the game where Iginla and LeCavalier fought. Like Iggy had like a Gordie Howe hat trick. And so it was just like, it was so cool to be there. Like I hope to go to another Stanley Cup Finals again because it's pretty awesome. I got to go to NBA Finals when the Raptors were in it down in California for the Warriors, and so that was pretty cool. I met like Nav, the super fan, and gave him his own little minifigure character.
That's cool.
And it's been kind of weird though. Like the fact that I was just at the Masters. I never thought I would ever be at the Masters.
And how was it?
It was just a practice round. I didn't even know that people really went to practice rounds. That's like, I guess the cool thing to go to because you can take a camera in.
It's one of the best parts.
Can't, right. But I didn't know that. I was like, wait, I'm going to go to a practice round and watch them practice? Like, that doesn't sound that awesome. But it was awesome. My buddy Dylan Fratelli plays on tour, and he's like, he came and played in a tournament we did with PGA Memes. He was in Orlando at Bay Hill, and he didn't make the cut. And so I was like, dude, just come play the back nine on our like scramble team. So he showed up, and that was like the first time we'd met. We'd kind of known each other online for a few years. He's a big Lego fan. And so it was kind of cool to hang out with him. And then he just kind of mentioned, I was like, I think I might sneak into the Masters. And he's like, don't do that. He's like, that's a terrible idea. And I was like, well, I'm kind of good at getting into places I don't belong. It's kind of my superpower. And he's like, no, that's a terrible idea. He's like, I will get you a ticket to the Masters. And I was like, what do you mean? You'll get me a ticket? He's like, we get tickets. He's like, I can get you a ticket.
Oh,
He's like, I'll get you one for like the practice round. So I was like, practice? We're talking about practice? And then I ended up going, and it was awesome. It was just like, there was nobody there either, because you had to be like a Berkman's member, like have the fancy passes, or else you had to like be a friend of one of the players. And so he hooked it up, and then I just went and hung out at the Masters for a day. It was sick.
So that being said, that might answer my next question, but what is your favorite golf memory?
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Being at the Masters is probably my favorite. It was pretty cool, honestly, to follow Graham, to see, like, that was kind of my first exposure to it. And so like the fact that he played at Boise State, it's from Canada, it was just perfect. I was like, oh, this is the guy I'm following. But I didn't know anything about him, but he just seemed super cool. He's just kind of, nonchalant, just goes and sits up on like the little cooler where they keep the waters, and he's just kind of waiting for his next shot. And he was just he seemed super cool. But like I said, I've never talked to him. I just talked to him in DMs. I need to go out and get drinks with him or something, and get to know Graham. He lives in the same town. I might as well.
Yeah, like,
I
you
don't know.
probably should do that. Yeah,
I probably should. I bet I will. I'll DM him after this, and I'll say, hey, Graham, I was on your favorite podcast, Off the Hosel. And they told me that I should reach out to you, and we should go and hang out.
That's not bad.
All right.
I'll tell them that you guys sent me.
Yeah, you do that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be cool by association. I'll just say, hey, Graham, it's time we go hang out. We don't have to play golf if you don't want to play golf. But I actually, I do color commentating for the Idaho Steelheads.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. So I've worked for them ever since I moved to Boise like 17 years ago. But like the past 5 years, I've been like the Pierre Maguire down in between the benches. And I love it. And I'll wear like Don Cherry, like really loud suits. And I literally just look like a homeless person that somehow weaseled his way in between the benches. But I'm just kind of comic relief there. But I didn't think I would love it as much as I do. I absolutely love it. So maybe I'll invite him to a hockey game or something if he still lives in Boise.
Jared, my next question for you is, I saw you recently wearing a Dogfather hat, shooting a basketball behind your back and making it full court. How did the connection with our cousin Dale and you become a thing?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think Dale reached out. I want to say maybe I did a hot dog review. I don't remember how we linked up, but we actually, he might be somebody, if he can ever make it back into the United States, that might be one of the guys that I teach how to make a Lego video of him eating a hot dog. We actually just talked about that. Because he's down in Mexico, and he's like, dude, just come down to Mexico. I'm like, I don't have a passport. Otherwise I would. Because he's playing like these fancy courses in Mexico now. And how sick would that be?
You don't have a passport?
No, I mean, it expired. I have one. I just haven't used the passport in a long time. And so it expired, and I haven't gotten another one. I need to go get another one, but I just haven't left the country in probably 5 years.
Fair enough.
I have a question. It might be a little selfish though, because Jared and myself and Drew and Daniel become best friends here over the last hour. I was wondering if Jared would do a stop motion video of Off the Hosel.
I should. What do we want to do? Just have your lips moving the whole time?
You're the creator. You're the creator.
No, I want a little Lego guy myself. It'd be kind of cool just to put a guy in my little profile on Twitter. That'd be sick. Just have
actually, I think I have one in my pocket I think I've got the.
He's gonna flip us off. He's gonna give us the finger?
No, it's not the finger. I have a Lego hot dog actually. But I've got like a homeless looking happy. So this Bricks and Minifigs place made me some some little caddies. I don't know how well you
Dale?
can see that.
Oh yeah.
Who is that supposed to be?
That's supposed to be Gold Yeller.
Oh, that's cool. You look
And
like kind
so-
of like Dale.
I kind of do look like Dale. And so that's what I talked to him about. I was like, dude, I have all of these. I'm like, I have all the stuff to do it. Like, we should just do it. But I kind of want to do it where he's like helping me do it, just because he's such a funny dude that I think it would be hilarious to have like me being Dale's Lego caddy of him being a caddy eating hot dogs. Like, it's just it's pretty meta, but
Yeah.
I think it could be pretty funny. So if he ever makes it back into the United States, I don't know what the deal is with his visa, but we got to get that figured out.
Yeah.
I guess that was a hard no to the off the Hosel.
Yeah. That was
video,
hard.
eh?
No. Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's not get desperate here, boys. Like, let's slowly work into this. Like, you guys are asking to hook up on the first date.
You have to.
Gotta
Like,
go hard.
no, you kind of gotta slow play it. Like, where's the romance here? Where's the bromance, boys?
Well, that was the first 45 minutes of this thing. That's what that was.
That's true. Yeah, you guys did kind of soften me up, so we might be able to work something out.
Anything more, Troy?
I think I'm good. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, here, I'll ask one more. Are you ever planning to come to Canada?
Yes, I was planning to come to Canada last year, actually, but then I don't know when your government is ever going to open up the borders again to
2024.
to us dirty Americans. Apparently, we're dirty. Even though I am Canadian, now I've lived in the States about as long as I lived in Canada, so I guess I'm just one of those dirty Americans that you Canadians don't like. Like, what do you guys have against Americans? Come on, I thought we were neighbors.
We are allies.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be nice to your neighbors, boys. Like, let us back into the country, and like,
Talk to
come
Eastern
on.
Canada.
You guys are being a little bit pretentious here, not letting us in. Just open the borders back up so we can all play golf together. Or you guys could just come down here. You won't have to quarantine or anything. Just come hang out.
Yeah, but the borders are open though. You know, this is starting to turn into a political podcast. We're gonna move on from this, Jared. We had a lot of fun today, man. I hope we can do this again, and I think we all appreciated your time today.
Very much so.
Yeah, we need to play golf.
Let's do it.
We need to play golf before we make a stop motion video of Off the Hosel.
Bang! There it is. There's a deal.
You got Xbox or
Second-
PlayStation? We can set up a match tonight.
I don't have either of those. We got to do in-person golf, and that can be our second date.
All right.
Perfect.
Sounds like a
And
date.
then you can come in for all the asks you want. I'm pretty easy like that.
Alrighty, Jared. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, man. Take care.
All right, thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Alrighty, episode 78. Jared Jacobs, the Lego Machine. Boys, thoughts on this interview?
Gold Yeller. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great stories. Unbelievable how Lego got him where he is.
Yeah.
The connections the guy's made, the places he's been, and it looks like the future is very, very bright for Double G, Jared Jacobs.
Yeah. Danny?
Crazy how creative he is with. I know I wouldn't have the patience to do stuff like that. So for him, to, he said it takes like
100 hours
100
for
hours to do
30
a 30,
seconds.
30-second clip. Like, that's unreal, and it's so creative and cool. And yeah, thanks to Jared for coming on.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen his stuff yet, check him out on Instagram because he didn't drop his plug, but it's at Gold Yella, I believe, or at Gold Yeller. So
Yeah.
check him out. The things that he does on there are incredible, like reenacting real sport plays in real time with the real audio.
Yeah.
We battle every day with a podcast and why our mics don't work once in a while. So to see what he does is quite incredible. And it was a lot of fun talking to him, and I think we'll do it again.
Oh, I hope we can get him back on.
Yeah. Boys, this is the end of the podcast, obviously.
I just wanted to say one thing. I know we're
Shoot.
going to hit the music here pretty soon, but for our listeners out there, when we put out there where you're golfing, right, we'd love to see where you're playing. So that's awesome that you guys are responding to us. Send us some pictures so we can tag the golf course. So
Yeah.
all our listeners can see what the courses, wherever you're playing, look like. What do you think?
Yeah, and there's some courses that I don't even know. Like, some people are playing. I'm like, where's that? Like, I'd love to go play it too. Like, that's, we go out there for a weekend trip or a day trip or whatever it is. Just some places I'm like, where is that?
Yeah, I saw like the other day our friend Scotty D sent us pictures from, where is he? Cypress Hills, right? I've never played it. It was kind of
Yeah.
cool to see what the course looks like. So
Yeah.
yeah, send us some photos along where you're playing. We'd like to see them.
Yeah, no, big week this week though. So wrapping up 78. Sass Dam next week. Sass Dam, Mid-Am next week. I leave on Saturday. You boys are coming up on different days or whatever it is, but we're going to have a podcast in the hotel Tuesday. We won't say the guest yet. We don't want to spoil it because we don't spoil guests anymore now. We just, boom, here it is.
Yeah, drop up.
That's just
like
what we
it.
do.
Like
you know,
it.
keep it suspense tense.
Like Snoop said, drop it like it's hot.
Is that what he said?
Drop it like it's hot.
What else was I going to say quickly? Oh, yeah, so the tournament is next week.
Tournament.
The tournament. Yeah, I'm excited, boys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rip's coming, too. Rip's going to come beyond. He's on the bag. He's caddying again. You know, we're not 1-0, but he's not fired yet. So,
Right.
successful week ahead of us.
We're rooting for you, Drew.
It's gonna be cool to see you in a tournament. I've never seen you in a tournament before, so
Yeah, I'm very quiet.
Quiet?
Which is never often come from me. So, Troy, happy to have you back in studio and on the podcast. That's back-to-back weeks.
And I'll be here next week.
There it is, Troy. We'll talk to you next week. Peace. See ya.
Betcha.
yeah. And quickly, just to everyone listening, we got hats coming out this weekend. We'll post something about it, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, good to see you, boys.
Absolutely, Danny H. Everyone else, take care out there. Enjoy the podcast this week. We'll talk to you next week live from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We'll talk to you later. Peace. See ya. Danny, run that tune.